And welcome in to the first pregame of the year. Chase McCabe alongside Big Joe Dubin. Chris Sanders had some coaching duties today, so I'm stepping in. Usually it will be Big Joe, Chris Sanders, and at home games, Derek Mason will join them. But we're so excited to be back for the pregame show as the Tennessee Titans start their season on the road at Mile High against the Denver Broncos. And we're it's very exciting to have our great sponsors on board with us this year: Old National Bank, Parman Tractor and Equipment, Circus Sportsbook Kentucky, Jimmy Kelly Steakhouse as well, and Tennessee Brew Works being on with the pregame. But JoJo, it's here. We're fine. We don't have to. We got to talk about it for 2 more hours,
right?
And then they will kick the ball off.
It's exciting. What a fun day! Packed here at Twin Peaks here out in Rivergate. I call it Madison. Rivergate, whatever.
We were just in Madison. Now we're in a different Madison.
That's right. So it's packed in here. Everybody, Uman and I at the football games that are going on. We were marking earlier that the Dolphins might fire Mike McDaniel at halftime because the Colts are up 17-0, and the Dolphins look terrible. But today is about your Tennessee Titans going to Denver, taking on the Broncos. And what's funny is this morning I was reading a bunch of stuff about how Cam Ward is at least talked about number one drafted quarterback in the last 20, 30, 40 years, maybe ever. You know how you stop that narrative, Chase McCabe?
You win today.
You win today out in Denver.
I think if they win today, he'll be talked about a lot, especially with – we'll get you a scoreboard update here in a few minutes, but especially with the way some games are going. If they go in there as an 8.5-point dog and show why they took him number one overall, show that all the things they've been saying he's been doing in practice and the improvement and the development that has been there, if they show that that is all true and they win the ball game, I think it changes the narrative not only here locally but also nationally as well when it comes to Cam Ward and the Tennessee Titans.
Well, I was watching the pregame shows today, and they did talk about him a little bit, but a lot of talk is around Jaden Daniels, Caleb Williams. I know, by the way, Cam Ward in Denver, and then on to something else. But you're right. Winning the game today would be just monumental for this franchise, for Cam Ward, for everybody else. And, look, we'll know at 3:05. And, we talked about, first quarter, second quarter, what do you want to see? I'd love to see a first quarter, some sustained drives, and just keep him on the field. Nice, easy passes, build his confidence up, and for the defense, let him kind of wreak havoc on Denver to do things, because Sean Payton's going to draw up something today that you haven't seen before. So be expected for the unexpected. For Cam Ward, though, make it easy for him. Little cute little slant routes, a little misdirection, roll him out of the pocket. Things get him comfortable and move on that way. I'd love to see that and love to see them put points on the board first. I think it would be a great start for the Titans.
When you talk about keys to the game offensively, it all centers around Cam Ward. He spoke earlier this week on this matchup against Denver and what they have to do.
What is the feeling heading into week one, and what are you seeing from them on defense that you're preparing for?
They're very sound. They're not going to beat themselves. It's a very good defense. They do a lot of different things up front and coverage-wise that you got to be ready for. But at the end of the day, we got to, make plays in the run game. I got to put the ball in the players, in my playmakers' hands, let those guys make plays for us.
And look, we're going to talk about that in the next segment. Cam Ward's best friends. He needs to have some best friends today.
Yes.
But you listen to that clip there, and to me, it'll probably be a lot for him, and I think he does a good job of kind of hiding some of that pressure and, maybe what he's thinking. But, like, right now he's on the field. He's looking around. It's – Mile High Stadium or whatever they call it now.
Empower
Field and whatever. But if you're him, you take that moment, you go through those welcome to the NFL rookie moments, and then I think the game will slow down for him probably when they get into the second quarter.
Well,
maybe even after the first series.
We talked to Tim Hasselbeck this week, and I said, all right, we talked about what you want Cam Ward to do and what Brian Callahan should call on this, but how should Denver attack Cam Ward? He's like pressure, off the corner, up the middle, stunts, twists, whatever it takes. Go after him, and then when you hit him hard, put him down to say, look, this isn't Miami anymore. You're in the NFL, but confuse him all day long. And we saw yesterday, we're up in Madison, Wisconsin. When that rush comes off the end, I don't care if it's high school, college, or pro, when they're crashing on the end and you got to hurry that throw, it throws everything out of whack. So that offensive line today, if that Titans offensive line, which was much maligned, and they've gotten a little bit better, and the rankings are good for them, they can keep him upright and protect him for a little bit. I think Cam Ward might have a pretty decent day.
I could see that too. Now, defensively, what do they have to do? This is where you and I get a little concerned when it comes to the Titans, because there are questions on offense, not denying that. I think there are more questions on defense. Can the corner that you paid a lot to and traded for over a year ago, can he do anything for you?
Right.
With a bum knee? Can Jeffrey Simmons, who sometimes gets a little too worried about what people are saying about him, can he go to another level, truly be a leader on this defense? I think he can, and make an impact, both, setting up guys to get to the quarterback or getting to the quarterback himself. Inside linebacker, what is that?
Good point. I don't know. I don't know. Let's go back to Simmons for a second. All right, Sweat didn't play any in the preseason, right? And he had an interview the other day with him. He's like, I'm going to be there. I'll have the oxygen tank on the sidelines. I'll be good to go. I'm worried sick about him because he hasn't played. I haven't seen it, and that's a whole different environment out in Denver. But if Simmons and Sweat can occupy 4 of the 5 offensive linemen throughout the entire day, somehow, some way, you're not going to occupy all 5 of them. And they're going to double team Simmons. I'll tell you right now, it's going to happen. And if Sweat can wreak some havoc too as well, then you can send guys off the edge that normally you wouldn't be able to do. But if they can occupy those 4, let the linebackers run downhill, make plays, it might be a nice day. Problem is, I don't know how good the linebackers are. So I can't say, like, they're terrible. They're not going to get I don't know. We don't know. We really don't know. So if they can all get that pressure on Bo Nix, and here's what Bo Nix is going to do. He's going to run. He's going to run. He's like a first read guy, then he's gone. And you remember we talked to Derek Mason, the MTSU coach, about quarterbacks who love to run. Like, they give one look, then they're gone.
Yeah.
So if you take Bo Nix's one read away, get pressure on him, make him out of the pocket, and again, make him uncomfortable, this might be a nice day for the Titans defense. Again, easier said than done. You got to get the job done when you get out there.
Here's Brian Callahan on the defensive game plan when it comes to Bo Nix.
To kind of move around and use his feet too. How disciplined is you guys have to be defensively?
Oh, it's critical. That's really what's made their offense so so dangerous. Is he's really strong in the pocket. He's hard to bring down. He's a really strong pocket presence. He can run when he breaks contain. He's a real threat as a runner, and he's got great feel for when and where to escape. So quarterbacks like that, which there's more and more of them in the league nowadays, you have to really do a great job balancing your rush, knowing where your rush lanes are at, knowing where the quarterback launch point is at, condensing the pocket and making sure that we don't give up free lanes for the quarterback to run. That's a huge part of playing all these quarterbacks that can run nowadays is you do your best to don't give them free ones. If they make a great play and escape, then that happens, but we try to not give them easy lanes to run in.
And he basically just said what you said. I mean, you have to.
You should call me.
You should. You could be a defensive analyst.
Right. They don't want that.
For the Titans.
They don't want that. And Callahan, look, I will never question his football knowledge.
Yep.
Never. I think he's brilliant when it comes to coaching and to everything else, because he's a head coach, right? He got there because they liked what he did. I think he was overwhelmed at times last year because you got to find where the red flag is. You go for it on 4th and inch. There's a lot of things you're not prepared for. But look, he knows what to do to Bo Nix. He's seen it before. Like, he's been around Peyton and Stafford and Derek Carr and Joe Burrow. He knows what a good quarterback is. When he talks about that, he knows exactly what is going on with Bo Nix. Now, if you can make him uncomfortable, and we always use it, I love using that word all the time. A quarterback's got so much coming in information. Now, Denver's going to try to do the same thing to Cam Ward, make him confused, make him uncomfortable, throw the pressure at him. But if they can do the same thing to Bo Nix, look, Bo Nix played great last year. That really, really well down the stretch. That was last year, right?
Yep.
So you go to the offseason, you read how great you are in the paper and everything. Now you got to go out and prove it. Titans can step up and get it done today. Could be a nice day. I mean, we'll see what happens.
The one thing that Bo Nix has, though, that I think is to his advantage is his head coach. Sean Payton has – now, granted, when he got to New Orleans and he and Breeze got together, Breeze had time in San Diego. He wasn't he was still dealing with a young quarterback, but not a second-year quarterback by any means. But I think Peyton, has that pedigree and has the moxie to kind of prepare a second-year quarterback of, okay, you had a great year last year. Everybody else knows that too. Everybody has seen it. Everybody has the film.
Right.
So now we got to improve your game and change your game. And if all goes well with Cam Ward, then Cam Ward and Brian Callahan are going to have the same conversation this time next year. But you have to, and so it's a credit to Peyton, it's a credit to Bo Nix of what they've done, what they did in year one. But the Titans need to try and exploit some of that today.
They do. The Broncos offensive coordinator in name, much like the Titans with Nick Holtz, is Joe Lombardi, right? That's Vince Lombardi's grandson. He was with Peyton in New Orleans for 5 years and left. From 07 to 13, left to go be the coordinator for Detroit, came back with New Orleans. He was actually calling a few plays at the end of Peyton's term down there in New Orleans. And as a former Saints fan, I tell you, it got frustrating with him because he got nervous. He made some really bad calls. So if you get the call of the game, I know this is crazy, but if Sean Payton can go to Lombardi and say, hey, do this or do that, and in New Orleans, he wasn't good. Joe Lombardi was not good in New Orleans. Now he's with him in Denver, and it's Peyton's team. I understand all that. But at the same time, if you get Lombardi involved a little bit, I think that's a win-win for the Titans, just because I remember what he did in New Orleans. I remember how bad he was with Detroit, and now he's back. And I'm not sure how much input he calls, Joe Lombardi does, for the Broncos. We'll see today, but it is pretty much Sean Payton's team.
How important is it for Cam Ward to not get overly aggressive in game number one? Here was Brian Callahan on that earlier this week.
Such a vertical passer. He likes to push the ball down the field. This team, they're going to blitz. They were 10th last year. How do you go about making sure that, hey, I want you to take your shots, but we got stuff underneath as options as well?
That's part of playing the position in the NFL. There's a discipline and a patience involved in playing quarterback. I would say there's probably 80% of the game that the quarterback has to do the right thing. And then there's those 20% that they got to make the play, make a great throw on third down, make a great throw in the red zone, create on a scramble. But a lot of the position is the discipline and patience that's required to keep moving the team down the field. And those are the things that Cam's learned along the way. There's teams that can rush the passer just like this one. You got to be mindful of how long you hold the ball and how often you're going to hang back there because they're coming. But that's all part of it. But you just don't ever want to take away the stinger. And Cam's got one, and he's going to take some chances and take some risks and put the ball in some tight windows, and that's part of what makes him who he is, and we don't want to take that away from him. So he's going to go play football the way he's played football his whole career. He'll learn the differences in the NFL as he plays more NFL games, but there's not a whole lot of things that I'm not going to tell him how he's got to go play. I can point out the things that he needs to do well and where he can help the offense, but when it's time to go play quarterback, go play quarterback.
I love that line that he used there of, I don't want to take away his stinger. You don't want to take away what makes him who he is.
Good point.
And I think what you're going to see, really, because he didn't play a whole lot in the preseason, and I know you can learn some of this in practice, but they're going to what they're going to try and do is see, they got to learn each other. I still think Cam has to learn getting the play call from Brian. Brian has to learn how Cam's going to improvise, how much he wants to let him improvise, what happens if he gets rattled. So I think there has to be a little bit of patience, with these first, especially this game, of these two still kind of learning, because you cannot replicate a live regular season NFL game like they've attempted to do.
That's why I was shocked I didn't see more of Cam Ward in the preseason. We talked about all the time about, look, we see this guy into the second half. What's he's doing? What's he like coming out of the locker room? We didn't see any of that. So Brian Callahan, they had a plan for him all along, what they were going to do. And look, he's been here since late April. It's not like he just showed up first day of training camp in late July. Let's get going. So he's been in there. They've been situations. They've been in the quarterback room. They've gone through all the things at practice and everything. Now you got to turn it on. I wish this game was at home. I know you can't determine the schedule and all that other stuff. I really wish it was at home. I'm always a fan of the first game being either at home, and only 16 teams can do that, but making it easy for him and getting the confidence you need, because if he goes out there today, Chase, and he's 6 for 19 with 3 interceptions, he's wrecked. His confidence is wrecked. He's not going to take the deep shot down the field anymore. A lot of things that go on with that. It'd be nice to see him play at home. But with that being said, in Denver, go easy. Go easy. You can't win the game on the first play. You can lose it, can't win it. So go out there today and make him comfortable as you can with that offense.
Coming up next here on the pregame, Chase McKay, Big Joe Dubin with you. Cam Ward needs some best friends, and there's one in particular that we haven't talked a whole lot about that I think is going to be very, very important to his success today. We'll do that coming up next. Again, we're live at Twin Peaks here in Madison, home of the 29-degree beer. They have their lunch lineup, the quickie combo of a half sandwich and a soup or a salad, hand smashed burgers, chef-inspired flatbreads, wings, tacos, and hot dishes. Come out and see us. It's packed right now as people are watching the early games. We'll have more coming up here on the pregame 102.5 The Game.
Going into an environment like that, how important will it be to get Tony Pollard going early, and how do you feel he's going to be able to carry a heavy workload as required?
Yeah, he's proven he can do it. He did it last year for us. He can carry the ball a bunch. He's a productive runner. He's a hard runner. All those things are things that we've seen from Tony. So there's not a whole lot of middle where he's going to take a majority of the carries. We're still going to need the other guys to play for us. Julius is going to have to step up. Khalil might have some work in there. Those guys all got to contribute for us to win. But very confident in Tony's ability to handle it. Obviously you got to run the ball well in this league if you want to win. And so we're going to have to run the ball well when we run it.
Does that get amplified a little more, being as though you have a rookie quarterback making his first start?
Not any more than it would for any normal game, I don't think. Yeah, certainly we'd like to run the ball well and keep him out of some of the tough situations that you can get in if you got to drop back a bunch or face the pass rush a bunch. They're very clearly an excellent pass rushing football team. Their production is best in the league. So, we got to be mindful of what the spots we put them in, and running the ball always helps that. But at the end of the day, we're still going to do what we think is going to help us win the game. And if we got to throw it, we'll throw it.
That was Brian Callahan on Tony Pollard and his production. Welcome back into the pregame. He's Big Joe Dubin. I'm Chase McCabe, live at Twin Peaks in Madison. Come on by and see us. A lot of games going on right now. Former Titan Jonnu Smith just scored a touchdown with Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers. So in that game, so the Steelers still, believe it or not, are trailing the Jets 19-17, 32 seconds to go in the first half. But I play that clip, or Connor actually did it back at our studio. Because I think the running back can be the rookie quarterback's best friend today. And you need an effective run game. Now, Callahan's playing it off. Then we're not going to, it's not going to be anything different than it usually would. I don't believe that, because there are two positions that I think are a rookie quarterback's best friend: the running back and the tight end, because you can easily check down. They're your safety blanket. They can take some pressure off of Cam, or of course he can use his legs. I think it's very important to get Pollard going today.
Like, you're a Cowboy fan, so I didn't really pay that much attention to Tony Pollard before he came here. I know he got the knee injury. Now, how good was he before the injury?
I think he was really good. Now, he was the second back to Ezekiel Elliott.
Right.
But you go back to his time at the University of Memphis, and he obviously turned some heads and got people's attention and was viewed as being a guy that could play on Sundays, and I think he's proven that. His last year in Dallas, when he became the featured back, went over 1,000 yards, and then ultimately got the deal to come here.
That was, they didn't re-sign Zeke because they Pollard, right? So, and Pollard had the knee injury, but he's talked about he's 100%. And that, when you get the knee injury, it's really tough to come back and be completely 100%. But I think he's good. I mean, he ran for 1,000 yards last year behind that awful offensive line. He never complained. He did what he was asked. He pass blocked. He went out and blocked down. I mean, I think he's a heck of a running back and a heck of a player. I would put a lot on his shoulders. If that offensive line can move the pile starting off and let Pollard bounce it in and outside, they got something going on. But yes, if the running game, not talking more about dumping the pass off to the tight end or to the running back, if the running game can sustain and take pressure, Brian Callahan would love the stat line for Cam Ward. 0 for 0 for 0 yards. If you rush for 380 yards and 5 touchdowns.
I don't know if he'd love that. But
right?
I
You
see
just
what you're
hand the
saying.
ball off and keep going on and on. So, yeah, Pollard to me is the X factor today because he's good. He's talked about giving me more opportunities. And now he's got an offensive line that's really built now. They're so much better than they were last year. He's your guy. And we talk all the time about best friends. That tight end, I'd love to see Chig step up. Chig has the opportunity today to step up and really say, look, I belong in this league. Gunnar Helm, you can sit down for a little bit. I'm here for a while. So there's a lot of possibilities for Cam Ward to go on. You got Ridley, you got Lockett, you got Io Manor, you got the receiver. There's a lot of positives here, at least going into this first game. Unlike Cam Ward going out there saying, well, we don't have a tight end and running back's okay, and the receiver, God, I don't think he can catch a pass at all. There's some positives here, and if they can build off these guys, this could be a nice day. It could really be a nice day for the Titans. Now, we could spend 5 hours talking about the defense because, well, we just don't know.
We're talking about best friends right now because, again, he needs to have a bunch of them. But I have to reference a tweet that Jim Wyatt put out. This is on the wall outside the Titans locker room at Empower Field. Elevation 5,280 feet. Altitude sickness is real. Well done by the Denver Broncos and Empower Field to put that on the visiting locker room because that is just playing mind games.
It is. It is.
I love that. That's hilarious.
Altitude sickness. But listen, you are one of the most superior conditioned athletes in the world. 53 of these guys are. They're taking the field today. 45 end up for being active. You are supremely conditioned. Don't let it get to your head. It's easier said than done. I understand all that. We had Al Wilson on the show a few weeks ago, former Broncos linebacker, and talked about, he said, look, we want to get hit the teams hard because the altitude gets to them, and then we got them. If they hang around, they get used to it, we get used to it, and it's not good.
Yeah, 100%. Other best friends, the O-line. We know the O-line needs to be, all 5 of them need to be his best friend. They need to give him time. Now, the O-line looked good in the preseason, but that wasn't the full O-line. It would appear, and we're going to get inactives here in just a few minutes, it would appear he's going to get his O-line today. How much can they protect him? I'll tell you, you talk about stat lines that Brian Callahan will like if there's a 0 in the sack column.
Oh, absolutely.
I don't think there will be, but if there is, then that's a damn good day by the offensive line.
It is, but again, Denver's coming at you.
Yeah,
you are a rookie. They are coming at you in every way possible, which that frees up a couple one-on-ones on the outside. Take advantage of that. I'm sure they've been through all the scenarios and everything, and they've alerted Cam, look, you feel that pressure, get rid of the ball. Get rid of the ball, throw it down the field. It doesn't matter. Bounce it down the field, whatever. Don't take a large sack and don't make an interception. Again, I told you that quote from, I think it was Mike Holmgren said, I have no problem with you throwing the ball into the third row. I have a problem with you throwing it to the safety. If you want to throw the ball away, throw it away. Be smart about it. And they need to tell Cam Ward, you can't win this game today. The 10 guys around you are going to win. This is a team game. You can't win the game. Let's help everybody out, be on the same page. Because if not, it could be a long day for Cam Ward.
The other best friends, you've already referenced them. We know Calvin Ridley. But the problem is I think Denver knows Calvin Ridley is going to be one of those guys too. So to me, it's up to guys like Tyler Lockett, a veteran that you brought in here,
Right.
he's going to need to help out. Chigga can Chigga he doesn't even have to become the tight end that everybody hoped he would become. He just needs to be a serviceable tight end because you got Gunnar Helm as well that is on this roster as a rookie. But Chig needs to make some big-time catches and be able to, again, be that safety blanket for Cam Ward. And then the other one is Alec Iomanner, who's been named a starter. This was Callahan on the consistency of performance and improvement by Alec Iomanner that led to him getting a starting job.
Did you see from him progressively get better, I guess, through camp in the preseason?
Just the performance. I think the consistency of performance just showed up every day. Made plays every day. He's gotten better every time he stepped out there. He's a strong runner. He's a powerful route runner. He's made plays on the ball, and that's what we're looking for. He's earned himself earned himself the right to be called a starter.
And a starter he will be. He's listed on the depth chart as a starter, so we will see what kind of role he can play. But all those guys need to be best friends with Cam Ward today.
They do, but a rookie receiver, man, it is really tough to come in that first year of the National Football League and be that guy.
But
they believe in him.
But is it almost easier for him than it would be for Cam? Because there's expectations for Cam. For a rookie wide receiver that was taken in the 4th round, yes, there are expectations, but not to that level. So can he go out there with a little bit of reckless abandon and go, hey, I'm just here to play ball?
I'm sure he can. Yeah, but here's the deal. Patrick Surtain is going to shut down one of those two, probably Ridley.
Yeah.
So he's the defensive player of the year. He's going to shut. So Calvin Ridley's done. I don't even factor him in the game today. And that's okay because you take out their best defensive player too. He's gone. He can stay with Ridley all day long. Yeah.
You go to Lockett. You go to Iomanner.
There you go, man. You take what they give you. That's exactly what they do. If you want to take Ridley away, let Ridley do streaks down the field, pull the safeties and everybody down the field. That opens up the middle of the field all day long. All day long. Let Surtain go ahead and take. And then if Ridley's good, if he's a team player, he knows he's not going to get catches there, but this helped this team win. That is a win-win for everybody involved.
One thing that we haven't really done in the past is take texts or calls on the pregame show, but you're welcome to weigh in. 615-737-1025 is our phone and text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. As Ricky is listening and just said, Gunner, excited about Gunnar Helm. That's another guy I'm looking forward to seeing today, but again, a rookie.
Yeah, a rookie. And look, they're going to know he's a rookie. The Broncos are. I mean, they're going to know when he comes in the game, what he could do, what he did at Texas, what he did in the preseason. That's why Chig's got the experience. Chig's fast. He just got to prove that he belongs in football today. I mean, he's got the opportunity there. But, yeah, there'll be a lot of substitutions today. And Gunnar Helm, look, tight ends are now the lovey-dovey of the NFL.
Yeah.
Every team's got one. Every team loves him. Titans got several that need to step up and be that. And if it's Gunnar Helm today, let Gunnar Helm do that. Look, you got Cam, Iomanner, Gunnar Helm, and DK, right? You got 4 really good offensive players that have come together. If they could prove today and come together as one and see some positives, I'm telling you, this draft, and by the way, they have all 9 players active from the draft. It'd be the first time since 2004 that they've done that. So they've drafted well. They believe in these young guys. They've built around some of these young guys. There's a lot of good things to look forward to. Now you got to go and execute against a very good defensive team in a kind of I don't say it's a hostile environment, but it's a tough environment in Denver. But Cam has these options now. You're just not throwing them out there and say, hey, get it done. You got some help. You got some buddies now to take you across the finish line.
Coming up next, we'll get you the inactives. This should be out momentarily. We'll also check in with Teron Davenport. He is in Denver. We'll get his thoughts, TD's thoughts on the game. But a couple of scores. Most games are at the half. The Bucs and the Falcons tied up at 10. The Bengals lead the Browns 14-10. The Colts all over the Dolphins 20-0 at the half. You're right. Mike McDaniel might get fired at halftime.
They look terrible.
Tyreek Hill's ready to just walk off and not be there anymore. Mike Vrabel and the New England Patriots leading the Raiders 10-7, but there's 16 seconds left in the half, and the Raiders have the ball at midfield. So trying to add points before the end of the half in 16 seconds. The Cardinals leading the Saints 17-10 at the half. Jets lead the Steelers 19-17. And 23 seconds left in the first half. The Commanders all over the Giants 14-3. And then one other game that's going on, the Jags lead the Panthers 10-3. That game is delayed right now. So as they're approaching halftime there, we'll get you scores as there's 4 seconds left, and the Raiders spike it. They're going to try for a long field goal with 2 seconds left to see if they can put 3 on the board before the end of the first half. But we'll have inactives and TD coming up next here on the pregame live at Twin Peaks in Madison, 102.5 The Game. Pretty cool to see Peyton Manning at halftime of the Colts game. They have put Jim Irsay, their late owner, in the Ring of Honor, and Peyton the one to do it. I think that's pretty appropriate. Welcome back to the pregame show at Twin Peaks in Madison. And yes, I'm enjoying the buffalo chicken tenders that they have here. 29-degree beer. And here at Cool Springs and in Madison or Rivergate, you can join the Friends of the Peak Club to get exclusive freebies. And they also have an extensive collection of rare bourbons, whiskeys, and tequila. So definitely come check it out at either location here in Middle Tennessee. And we appreciate our fine sponsors here at the pregame show: Old National Bank, Parman Tractor and Equipment, Circus Sportsbook Kentucky, Jimmy Kelly's Steakhouse, and Tennessee Brew Works for being on board with us. Chase McKay, Big Joe Dubin with you, waiting on inactives to come out, and they should be dropping any minute. It's usually 90 minutes before kickoff, so should be getting that any second. We'll also catch up with Teron Davenport from ESPN, who is at the stadium as well. So we'll be getting him in a minute. There was a big story this week that I thought was an interesting discussion, interesting question that Lauren Walsh asked from Channel 4 about what Cam Ward listens to before games, and he said silence. He puts headphones in and it's silent. And
Do you believe that?
Do you believe Steve McNair used to take naps before games?
Yeah.
So do I. I mean, they've given me no reason to doubt that. Why would you lie about that?
Why would you wear headphones and not listen to anything? That just doesn't make sense.
I mean, I've done that before because it blocks it out.
Yeah, I mean, come on. I saw the story, ran with it. People talk about that. But, it's good. He's done everything right for a quarterback, right, in preparation. He's smart. He loves the team. He works hard. He didn't partake in that goofiness with Shedeur Sanders back in the summer. He wants to play football. He's shown at every level he can play football. Now, can he do it in the NFL? We'll see today. I
believe it. I 100% believe that he's sitting there in the sound of silence. And the Titans even put him walking in. It says the sound of silence, and he has the headphones.
I get it. It's fun, and that's a different way to look at him. But look, he likes football. He's good. All these analysts looked and they dissected him at Miami, and they're all like, he's good. Problem is, he's playing for the Titans. Had he been drafted by the Jets or the Giants, they'd be talking about him nonstop. And we all know this. We all know they would be talking about him nonstop. Cam Ward is a heck of a quarterback. Just watch what he did last year. 1 year at Miami. Watch what he did at Washington State. Go on and on and on with him. Had he been drafted by anybody else, they'd be talking about him nonstop. That's fine. Don't talk about him. Just go out and win today, and the talking will come.
Here are the inactives for the Tennessee Titans. Cornerback Jalen Armour Davis, safety Kevin Winston Jr., cornerback Samuel Womack III, guard Jackson Slater, tackle Brandon Crenshaw Dixon, defensive tackle Shai Tuttle, and defensive lineman CJ Ravenville. Those are the actives for the Titans today. Nothing really too surprising. For the Broncos, the Denver Broncos, quarterback Sam Ellinger, running back Jaleel McLaughlin, tight end Nate Atkins, outside linebacker Q Robinson, linebacker Dre Greenlaw, tackle Frank Crum, and defensive end Savion Jones. Sam Ellinger will dress, though, as their emergency third quarterback.
Okay.
So that's the inactives for both teams.
That's interesting about Shai Tuttle. I mean, I thought they got him to provide some really good depth.
He may not be acclimated yet.
Okay, who's going to today, as I pull up to see the backup, Shai Tuttle's number 2.
Yeah.
He's backing up Tavondre Sweat, and then Carlos Watkins and James Lynch are part of that rotation in the defensive line, and you need that. I mean, you need early on these early games, you need that rotation. You need the depth of defensive line to get those guys in there going. That's big time with Shai Tuttle not being in there.
Yeah. But everybody you expect to be in there is in there. Paul Kuharski putting out Lloyd Cushenberry back where his career started, ready to start a game 8 months after rupturing his Achilles, and he looks good. He looks like he's ready to go. I forgot he was a Bronco, so that is a kind of a full circle moment for him.
Yeah, when they got him last year, it was one of the top free agent offensive signings in the National Football League. They were just a bad team last year, and then he gets injured, and it made matters worse. He's good. He was good at LSU. He's good with the Broncos. So I like that. But I'm really concerned about the depth at the defensive line now that Shai Tuttle's out and that Tavondre Sweat hasn't played hardly any in the preseason games. And he doesn't look in shape when I saw him at practice. But they know a lot more than I do.
Well, you're going to find out pretty quick if he's in shape or not right? with the altitude. I mean, we sit there and go, maybe it's an overused storyline, and maybe it is. But if a guy's out of shape, you're going to figure it out pretty quick in the thin air. So, but again, the inactives coming out 90 minutes, now less than 90 minutes away from kickoff in Denver. Coming up next, we'll talk to Teron Davenport from ESPN, get his thoughts on this game and so much more. Again, live at Twin Peaks in Madison. This is the pregame show presented by Old National Bank, Perman Tractor and Equipment, Circa Sportsbook Kentucky, Jimmy Kelly's Steakhouse, and Tennessee Brew Works here on 102.5 The Game. Welcome back into the pregame show, 102.5 The Game, here on this Sunday at Twin Peaks in Madison. And we say hello now to Teron Davenport from ESPN, who is in Denver, the Mile High City, one of my favorite cities. TD, what's up? How you doing?
Hey, what's going on, man? It's a beautiful day. The season's about to start, man. How could you not be excited?
All right. Before we get to the importance, well, this is important. Before we get to the football stuff, I need the fit check. What we got today?
Oh, well, you know, we working the Ninja Turtle team, you know what I'm saying? Got the lime green jacket, black shirt, little, you know, lime green and black plaids, you know, the J's, the threes to match it up. Just a little something. And the Ninja Turtle socks, of course.
I love it. I love that look. One thing that Joe and I have been talking about in today's show is how important Tony Pollard can be to Cam Ward. And you asked about him earlier this week. I think that Tony Pollard is very, very important to today's game because he can take some pressure off of Cam Ward while also being a safety blanket. How much do you think we're going to see of Pollard today?
Yeah, I think you're going to see a lot of Pollard early because this crowd is going to be hyped, man. This Broncos team, they made the playoffs last year, so they're going to be excited and energized. And so one way to really take the crowd out and just make things happen early in the game is rely on the rushing attack. And
Did we lose TD or did we lose us?
Can you hear me?
Okay, there he is.
You guys got me?
Yeah, we got you now. Let's put TD on hold and see if we can get a better connection. So
You got me?
we got you, TD.
Okay. Where did we leave off?
You dropped pretty early on in your answer.
Okay, so basically, listen, there's 1 million people in this stadium right now, you know, so it's hype. They're going to be behind their Broncos team coming off the playoffs. So what better way to go on the road and take the crowd away than running the football? And I think when you could lean on that, and you know all the money they invested in the offensive line, use that to set up play action, and that'll allow Ward to get some of those easier passing lanes. That's the best way to do it.
When it comes to Cam Ward, I know his family's there. I think he's done a really good job of how he has, you know, addressed questions about pressure and everything playing his first game. He seems very calm. How has he seemed during pregame to you?
Super calm. I mean, they're out there stretching the flag across the field, practicing that, and he's just not paying any attention to that. They're walking right next to him, stretching out, and then you look at just the way that they, you know, he was doing his warm-up stuff. It was just throwing the ball, and like he had a little weighted ball that he was throwing at the goal post with the pad on it and catching it off. He's just super relaxed, man. I mean, the guy said that he doesn't play anything on his headphones when he has them on. It's just he wants that silence, and he just dials in that way. I mean, that's like Brian Callahan said, like that's not something you really see from a 23-year-old.
Talking to Teron Davenport in Denver right now. Teron, what would be an ideal first quarter for Cam Ward and the Titans today?
I would say score on the first drive. If you want numbers, I would say probably like, you know, 8 for 10, you know, 70 yards, a touchdown, something along those lines. But I think the ideal thing is to just be able to get out there and put drives together. That's what they need to do. He hasn't been able to, you know, play more than 3 drives in a game. So to be able to, on that 4th drive, to still be effective and have things go right, I think that's the ideal way.
Is Denver's plan to put Surtain on Calvin Ridley and just take him out of the game? If so, I think that's advantage for the Titans, Teron.
You know, that's interesting. They're match man type of zone. You could do some things if they do put him specifically on Ridley. You could do some things to open that up. But I think they are going to have him travel. I like Riley Moss, though. Don't sleep on the Iowa corner. Riley Moss is a good corner, you know, but I think that the matchup is going to be there in the nickel. You got Jahdae Barron, who's probably going to start, but then you also got to look at, you know, some of the other guys that they got. I like the matchup for Tyler Lockett against them.
Sounds good. Tell me about Chig, today's a day, Teron, he could really show out because he's not talked about that much. Tight end could be the best friend for Cam Ward. How can Chig positively impact this game?
You know how he could impact this game? Yards after catch. Get him the ball, a Chase. What we say, yak monster? He could be that. You know, he's an occasional yak monster. We'll put it that way. And if he could get those yards after the catch, like make a big play like that, that'll take the crowd out of it too. And it gives Cam free yards. You know what I mean?
Anything stand out to you when it comes to inactive? It seems like a lot of the guys they acquired on the waiver wire, and then obviously we know that Kevin Winston has been dealing with something, not rushing him back with the injury that he previously had. But anything stand out with inactives?
Yeah, I was surprised Jalen Armour-Davis was inactive because, you know, I just figured he would be somebody they would try to get in the mix, but I would imagine they're trying to bring him along. Actually, Kevin Winston is walking right in front of me now. But, yeah, I mean, they're trying to bring him along, I guess, and eventually get him out there and in the mix. But him being inactive is a pretty good sign for L'Jarius Sneed, who came out, and I watched him running on the 1080 sprint machine. And so, I don't know. It'd be a good sign for the Titans.
Look, I know that stats don't tell the whole story. You have a saying that you like to use from Booger McFarland, but what if Sneed had one pick today? Does that shut a lot of people up?
Yeah, look, the interceptions are going to happen. You know, like he said, I don't know a quarterback in the NFL that didn't throw an interception. So they're going to happen. If he comes away with one, all right, cool, so be it. But, I mean, it's going to happen. And this whole thing that he's like some type of turnover machine, the guy had seven interceptions in college last year. He was the number two quarterback against the blitz. He had the second least interceptions when blitz. So you could squash that narrative, frankly.
Teron, how big Chase and I talked a week about how big this game is just because the number one pick, the new GM, knew everything going on. How big? Your boots on the ground every day with this football team. How big is this game for the Tennessee Titans franchise?
Oh, I mean, it's huge. It's the start of a new era. And, I mean, you got a guy who's going to be like everything's going to revolve around him going forward. So it's a huge start. And what better way? You know what James Brown used to say, right? Get off on the good foot. What better way to get the new era off on the good foot? Yeah, that's the way I look at it.
Exactly right. We were talking, Shy Tuttle is inactive today. How's the depth behind Sweat and Simmons on the D-line, Teron?
Yeah, I mean, you got, James Lynch. You got him. You got guys, because remember, like Jihad Ward, Arden Key, they bump them inside and move Simmons outside sometimes. So, you know, you'll see that as well. I think the depth is fine. Draymond Jones could play inside too. So you could give different looks at the offensive line. You know, you could give him power with Sweat. You could give him speed. You could give him length, you know, with Arden Key. You could give him a lot, you know. So I think that's the biggest thing.
Teron, thanks for the check-in. As always, enjoy the game, and we will talk to you on all of our shows next week.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, my apologies for the technical difficulty.
No worries, my man, no worries. Teron Davenport, right. ESPN, joining us here on the program, and, of course, is all over our radio station. You can hear the Talking with TD podcast as well. So I do think it's interesting, and Paul Kuharski added a tweet about what you were talking about with Shy Tuttle, that eventually I think he is going to jump some people, but maybe just not up to speed yet.
Oh, absolutely. And I forgot about James Lynch. That's why I like having Teron on, because, look, we can talk 11 on both sides of the ball, but it's really like, I forgot about this guy and that guy. James Lynch is not a bad player. And if they need him today to get in there and make something happen, he can do that. Look, there's some decent players on this football team. Can it come together as one unit? That's kind of the exciting thing today. See if they could do that and watch it. So all eyes on Cam. How's the defense going to do today? How is Callahan going to handle this new pressure that, you know, year number 2? And look, we know what's at stake. He's got to win games. They know this and everything. So, yeah, there's a lot of eyeballs on the franchise for a lot of different reasons.
A lot of the other games are now in the third quarter, some halfway through the third quarter. Bucks and Falcons knotted up at 10 in the third quarter. The Bengals now trailing the Browns 16-14, 7:20 to go in the third quarter. the Colts just decimating the Dolphins, 23-0 in the third quarter. They honored Jim Irsay at halftime, put him in the Ring of Honor. Peyton Manning was there.
Oh, that's cool.
I think the Colts are playing for something a little extra today, also having a new quarterback in Daniel Jones.
Well, they do. We got the game on right in front of us. The Dolphins look terrible, but is
They
that
look
because
awful.
of the Colts?
Yeah, I don't know.
If you're a Titans fan, you hope not.
Tua has not looked good at
Nope.
all. Patriots lead the Raiders 10-7 early in the third quarter. The Cardinals all over the Saints 20-10 right now. The Steelers and Jets in a battle. That one's on behind you as the Jets lead 19-17. Commanders over the Giants 14-3. And as I mentioned earlier, the Jags lead the Panthers 10-3, but that game currently is delayed. So we'll see if we can get an update for that. And then full slate of games, 4 games this afternoon. The 49ers in Seattle to take on the Seahawks. The Lions at Lambeau to take on the Packers. The Texans at Rams to take on Texans at Los Angeles to take on the Rams. And then, of course, the Titans in Denver for the Broncos. And then tonight, Ravens and Bills on Sunday Night Football, which should be a lot of fun. But we'll have more getting you set for the Titans and the Broncos in hour number 2. Again, this is the pregame show. We're at Twin Peaks here in Madison, home of the 29-degree beer. They have that lunch lineup I was telling you about, a quickie combo of a half sandwich and a soup or a salad, hand smash burgers, chef-inspired flatbreads, wings, tacos, and hot dishes. You can get that at either here in Madison or the Rivergate area or in Cool Springs. And, of course, all of our sponsors here on the pregame show, Old National Bank, Parman Tractor and Equipment, Circus Sportsbook Kentucky, Jimmy Kelly Steakhouse, and Tennessee Brew Works. Next week, we'll be at JBJ's downtown. It'll be Big Joe, Chris Sanders, and Derek Mason getting you set for the Titans home opener against the Rams. And, that's kind of a game that I've been paying attention to a little bit, Joe, because, who knows what Matthew Stafford is at this point. That's what we're going to be paying attention to this afternoon because I've never met anybody that used to have a bad back.
Not only that, but it's the Texans, and it's a team that you want to lose. And plus, the Rams are coming next week, so you can watch it later, but it's on the same time the Titans are, so you're probably won't be paying a whole lot of attention to it right now.
Well, you can have Red Zone on for sure. We'll have more coming in hour number 2 here on the pregame 102.5 The Game. Live from Twin Peaks in Madison, it's hour number 2 of the pregame. He's Big Joe Dubin. I'm Chase McCabe, in for Chris Sanders today, who had some coaching duties with the Big Red. They meet on Sundays. So next week, it'll be Big Joe, Chris Sanders, and Derek Mason at JBJ's downtown. But getting you set for week 1 as we're a little over an hour away from kickoff between the Titans and, as Homer Simpson once said, the Denver Broncos. So we look forward to that. Connor Newt is our producer back at the studio. But again, Twin Peaks, home of the 29-degree beer. You've walked around a little bit. This place is packed. There's a ton of people here watching all of these games right now.
At one table, there's a Jets, Steelers, Cowboys jersey, all buddies sitting at one table over there. So Jets and Steelers playing right now. Cowboys, dying effort on Thursday night. But everybody's having a good time. So it's packed. All the games are on. This is what we live for, man. Sunday, opening Sunday of the National Football League is a great day. Probably should be a national holiday, but we'll talk about that later on.
I agree with you. The Raiders just took the lead on the Patriots as Ashton Genty, the rookie, scores his first touchdown in his first game. I had a feeling that might happen today, and Genty able to get it done. He's a lot of fun to watch. He's going to be an electric player in the National Football League.
Yeah, the Raiders look good. I mean, I know it's early on. They're playing the Patriots at 14-10, but they're tackling. Been watching a lot of the game is really good. And of course, if you're AFC South fan, Colts looking really good over the Dolphins right now. And,
are they looking really good, or are the Dolphins just that bad?
I think the Colts have played well, put Dolphins in bad spots. But Tua, there was a 4th and 4. He was getting rushed, and then instead of throwing the ball down the field, he threw it to Mike McDaniel, and they had turnover on downs. And now Colts are driving and making things happen. It's just we talk about coaches on the hot seat. I mean, Mike McDaniel,
he might be, yeah. Here's the thing. Daniel Jones made his first start for the Colts today. Peyton, the sheriff, is there. So do you think he probably said something to Daniel Jones of hey, you can't embarrass me today?
He's like, man, it's a big day for us up here. I spent a lot of time in this city. I want some games, and you got, you're one number short of mine. So we'll see what's going to happen. I'm sure. I mean,
he took over for Eli.
He did, right?
Yeah.
So they honored Irsay at halftime. There's a lot of emotions there in that building, and I get it. But if you're a Titans fan, you want the score reversed. You want to get these other teams out of the way as quickly as you can, but they're up 23-0. I haven't seen the latest on the Jags and the Panthers.
The Jags and Panthers, from what I can tell, still delayed. The interesting one for me that is just kind of a shocker right now, the Browns up 16-14 on the Bengals. My Super Bowl pick, by the way, the Cincinnati
It's
Bengals.
early, man. It's on the road.
Joe Flacco, 18 of 25, 167, and 1 touchdown.
Simple. Just play simple football. It's not that difficult.
Dylan Sampson, who is now with Cleveland, 6 receptions for 54 yards.
You can run, you can catch, man. That's a dual threat. Falcons just got into the end zone and scored, so they're up 17. That's it over Tampa.
Who scored?
Atlanta did.
But who scored for Atlanta?
Bucky Irving.
Bucky Irving. Okay, very nice.
Oh, Bucky Irving.
By the way, we have the Saints game on as well. Did Vanderbilt give them their uniforms today? I mean, they look. I looked up and I was like, wait, Vandy's. I know they had a big win yesterday over Virginia Tech.
Right.
What is going on?
Those jerseys look fine for Vanderbilt, but for the Saints, it looked
and the
terrible.
Black helmet, yeah,
they look terrible. And so they're now like 20-17 now. They just scored. So going on a lot of mistakes early. It's going to happen. That's what's going to happen in the Titans game too. It just you have the mistakes. Look, they haven't played in 2 weeks. Probably haven't tackled in forever. So there's a lot of adjustment today in the game to get them going, but the same with the Broncos.
Well, I saw a tweet from Nate Washington, a former Steelers and Titans wide receiver, that says, if you don't play in the preseason, you're going to have a slow start.
Right.
And I think that's what we're seeing across the league. And, at least some of the Titans guys played during the preseason, but I think, if you see some mistakes early, especially from a rookie quarterback, then you probably have to factor that in. But these coaches are never going to listen to them.
They're not, but more and more ex-players are coming out, have been out of the league 5, 7, 10 years. Like, you need to play during the preseason. You don't get better with your mental reps sitting in the film room. So Nate Washington's one of many who've come out and said, practice, play in the games, get the experience, get that out of your way. I don't care if you've been in the league 4 years or 9 years, go and get it done. And you could tell by some of the sloppiness we've seen in the National Football League on week one from the last couple of years. It's really, really bad.
So how can Cam Ward overcome the week one pressure, the game one pressure in his career? Here was Cam on how he handles that pressure earlier this week.
Cam, Sean Payton said that, he wants to test you and see how you'll handle pressure. When you hear something like that, like how do you respond? What do you think of that being the challenge he wants to present?
Know your protection, get the ball out. Don't let them kill you. That's really all you can do to handle pressure, no matter what the blitz you call. The blitz still got to get there. So, a lot of stuff can get watered up at the line of scrimmage. I'm just continue to listen to my coaches who, prep me, for the past week's preseason game, protect myself and then put the ball in the playmaker's hand.
I'm going to say this before he plays his first game. I freaking love this kid,
man,
because there's so much negative in the world today that he's just a ray of positivity of like, hey, yeah, I'm just going to do my thing, man.
Yeah.
Like,
before they try to kill me. What a great line.
I love that. I love that. Now he's got to back it up on the field. If he goes out and throws 4 interceptions today and, does what Levis did last year, then, obviously I'm going to have a different take tomorrow. But
sure.
But I just.
So let me ask you this. What do you realistically expect today from him?
I expect him to probably attempt 20 to 25 passes, maybe complete 60 to 63% of them. I expect him to throw an interception. I expect him to throw a touchdown. I think that if that's 1-1,
okay,
I'll be okay with that. And I expect them to lose the game.
They run roughly 60 plays.
Yeah.
How many passes you want to see?
In an ideal world, half of those plays are passes.
Right. Yeah, I'm with you.
But I think they're going to run the ball maybe more than they're saying they're going to run the ball, just to take some of that edge off of him.
I'd like to see him have his percentage rate above 50%, whether it's 50.2 or 96.5. Above 50% would be fantastic. And I think I'm looking like 16 of 29 for 180 yards.
Yeah.
I think they make it simple for him and then take a shot. Make it simple, take a shot. But I think early on, I roll him out. I do easy passes. I do the drags across the middle. I get guys misdirection just to get into a flow of the game and take Denver out of their defensive game plan early on. That's what I would do. And I know Denver's expecting that too as well. But again, I would send the farm after Cam Ward if I'm the Denver Broncos, things he's never seen before, because you got the advantage. There's no pressure on the Titans today. Zero.
Yep.
Denver, you're a dark horse.
The pressure's on Denver.
Yeah, dark horse Super Bowl candidate. You got the greatest defense. Bo Nix looks like an MVP. Sean Payton's working his magic again. You got the crowd behind him. Here comes little old Tennessee into Mile High today. Oh, what's going to happen? So you're going to just play your game. Go ahead and have fun today. I think Cam Ward's going to do that.
Look, Vance Joseph is the defensive coordinator. This is the guy that was fired by the Broncos as their head coach.
Right.
He's back. He's the defensive coordinator. He's been with Sean Payton. He's got almost 30 years of experience as a coach in the National Football League. He knows what he's going to bring towards a rookie quarterback. He's seen rookie quarterbacks, and he's got an experienced coaching staff too. So I think that matchup of kind of watching, basically Vance Joseph versus Brian Callahan, because Brian Callahan, in all practical purposes, is the offensive coordinator of this team. So that is going to be, that kind of that matchup that I think people are going to be paying attention to. But for Cam, it's just, you got to go out there and play what got you here. Do the things that you did at Incarnate Word, at Washington State, and Miami, that got you the number one pick as the number one pick in the National Football League, and go out and just do your thing. As simple as that may sound, that's what it is.
I forgot Vance Joseph coached the Broncos. That's right, for 2 years in 17 and 18.
Wasn't he the one that they had the opener of Monday Night Football, and they had the guy that had never done sideline before and could barely speak English, and he was like, Vance Joseph is having the time of his life.
You're right. How do you remember that?
Because how could you not? Like, that was great.
September 11th, 2017, Monday Night Football. Joseph won his head coaching debut in a 24-21 victory over the LA Chargers. Yes, I totally remember that.
What was that guy's name? I felt they put him in a terrible position.
They did.
Because he didn't speak English very well.
Yes. I had completely forgotten all about that. Good memory on you, Chase. Well done on that. Yeah. So
Sergio Dip. Thank you.
Sergio
Thank you,
Dip.
Connor. Thank you. Well done. Well
Oh,
done.
what an unfortunate name.
Right?
That's
felt bad
worse
for
than
that
Joe
guy.
Dubin.
I remember being like, this poor guy.
Right.
I mean, he was just not very good. But there are obviously reasons for it. You asked Teron the question earlier. What would a successful day for Cam be? This was Brian Callahan on how Cam can be successful in week 1.
Brian, in your eyes, what's the most important thing for a quarterback to do, a rookie, that is, to successfully get through game 1, and how does Cam fit into that?
The biggest thing for a young quarterback is just stay within yourself, play within what's asked of you, do the things that you've done all training camp, all off season. It's week 1. I kind of alluded to it the other day. Week 1 gets made into this benchmark moment of a season. It's really just one game of 17 that you certainly want to play well in. But it's you still got to have some perspective on it and not, you don't need anything crazy. He just needs to be one of the 11 guys on the field on offense doing his part to help us win, making smart decisions with the football, keeping us on track, keeping us on schedule. Obviously, protecting the football is a huge part of winning football games in the NFL period, but certainly in week 1 is going to be critical. So I think he's just playing football the way that we ask him to play and play within himself. He's got all the talent in the world to go make the throws we need him to make, and the rest of the guys around him got to play well too. So we're counting on everybody to play well together.
That said, is there something specific you really want him to focus on or hone in on and practice these next 3 days?
Outside of the game plan, the normal stuff, no. Again, try not to make it something that it isn't. It's still just a football game. He's played a lot of football. This is not any different. So the talent's different, and the environment's going to be fun. But you walk on the field there. It's still 100 yards long and 10-yard end zones and 53 1/3 yards wide, and doesn't really change. So just that approach, I think, helps. We don't need him to do anything superhuman. Just need him to play good football and need the guys around him to play well for him.
That was Brian Callahan earlier this week. And look, you can call it coach speak. You can say, he's just trying to answer a question. I do think it's true, though. It goes back to he's played a lot of football.
Yeah, right.
And that's all this
Successfully.
is. Look, at the end of the day, that's all this is. He's just playing football. He's playing football at a high level for millions of dollars.
Right.
But sometimes if you just take it down to that simplified level, then that can put him in the right mindset. And I think it puts Brian Callahan in the right mindset too.
Isn't it funny that we always kind of somehow indirectly reference back to the movie Hoosiers?
Yeah.
When they walk in Hinkle Fieldhouse and oh my God, he's like, got the tape measure out.
Yep.
10 feet.
Yep.
It's 94 feet down and back, So
yep.
Yeah, it's 100 yards, 53 yards across. I mean, it is. It's still football, right? We talk all the time about this. I know you get tired of me saying this all the time, but it's blocking and tackling. Whether it's peewee, junior high, high school, college, pro, it's all the same. Yeah, the talent is better, but so are you.
Right.
You're surrounded by better
Thank
talent. You're welcome. You're not some talentless hack. So you're surrounded by better players, and you yourself have gotten better. If you're Cam Ward, you understand what's going on. And the Colts have scored again. They're up 30-0 on Miami. So understand that and be humble in your approach. You talk about how he said all the right things so far, and he's done all the right things. And there's been nothing bad said about his work ethic. Nothing. When Vince was here, we heard all things about his work ethic. He didn't study hard enough. I mean, Cam is just a sponge taking all this up. So, again, there's a lot to look forward to in this football team today. You just got to go out and get it done, bottom line.
Couple scores as we go to break. The Bucs lead the Falcons 17-10, 3:15 to go in the third. The Bengals have regained the lead against the Browns, up 17-16 in that one. As Joe mentioned, the Colts all over the Dolphins, 30-0. The Raiders lead the Patriots 14-10. Cardinals up on the Saints 20-10. And the Jets have extended their lead over the Steelers 26-17. The Commanders lead the Giants 14-3. And the Jags lead the Panthers 10-3. That game has resumed, 5:35 to go in the second quarter. You're listening to the pregame show presented by Old National Bank, Parman Tractor and Equipment, Circus Sportsbook Kentucky, Jimmy Kelly Steakhouse, and Tennessee Brew Works, right here from Twin Peaks in Madison on 102.5 The Game. That's what Cam Moore needs to do. Come to play today. Welcome back into the pregame. Chase and Big Joe with you. And we'll, of course, we'll have full reaction to the Titans and Broncos starting at 6 o'clock tomorrow morning with Robbie and Rex Road. Next man up with Jake Lyman following that at 9. And then Big Joe and I, of course, will have noon to 3. And then DVD will take you home 3 to 6 with all of the reaction to maybe a Titans win or a Titans loss. We'll see how
We'll
it's
know.
going to go.
We'll know in a couple hours.
We will know for sure. I think we'll know, like, watching the Colts and the Dolphins, you knew after about 10 minutes, like, oh, this is not going to go well. And Daniel Jones has looked like Peyton Manning.
Right, he has. No mistakes. The Colts defense just dominating the Dolphins. And Tua, I mean, God bless him. He looks terrible today.
So
I think Tua, it might be going with Mr. McCarthy. I mean, they just – there's no rhythm. There's been no rhythm there for a while.
Our buddy Ricky just sent me this tweet from Joe Osborne, who is with covers.com, a sports betting website, because I don't want to overreact to one half of football, but the Dolphins need to fire Chris Greer, fire Mike McDaniel, trade Tyreek for picks, start scouting the 2026 quarterback draft class, burn it all to the effing ground, and fully commit to tanking.
Oh, that's, you know what? The Tyreek Hill, the rumor was back in the summer he wanted to trade. They should have done that.
He's a guy. Look, there are certain people you don't want in your locker room. Tyreek Hill, to me, has become that guy.
Yeah, He's still. I mean, he's
a good player. I'm not saying he's not a good player. He's a good player, but he's one of those guys that just like if things aren't. I mean, look at him right now. If things aren't going well, he's complaining on the sideline, hands in the air, like give me the ball. When, I mean that that was a little off that pass, but like it's never his fault.
But I don't mind the fire. Give me the ball because he produces.
Fire is okay.
He produces.
He does, but I feel like sometimes the fire comes across as cockiness and not.
Can we talk generational effect of what happens when you've got a legendary quarterback, you try to replace him? Marino retired after the 1999 season.
Yep.
Haven't replaced him.
Yep.
Elway retired after 98. They haven't. I mean, they got a guy now. Bo Nix looks okay. I mean, Plummer was okay.
Cutler was good.
Cutler's attitude was,
but McDaniels got rid of him.
Yep.
For Tebow.
So you look at like the 49ers. They had after Steve Young.
Yeah.
It took forever to get somebody in there.
Okay. I mean, to your point, the Titans haven't truly replaced McNair. They tried.
Right.
I mean, that's why I think fans are a little more reserved. I think some are really excited, and I think everybody's excited, but they're also reserved because it didn't work with Vince Young. It didn't work with Jake Locker. It didn't work with Marcus Mariota. You had a little bit of a resurgence with Tannehill that you didn't draft.
But why?
Because you had the right pieces around him.
Because he wasn't a runner.
He wasn't a runner.
He delivered the ball to the playmakers.
Run. But yes, but you, and I think you had the right coaching staff and I mean, Arthur Smith was the guy he needed.
Right. Well, think about this. We had this question before. Name running not scramblers, running quarterbacks that have won a Super Bowl, not scramblers. That's different because Mahomes would throw the ball down the field and take off and not design plays for him.
I don't.
Steve Young. In 94.
Yeah, right.
Steve Young was the last running quarterback to win a Super Bowl. It's still good. And that's why I like Cam Ward. He delivers the ball to playmakers, lets them make the play. That's what he does. Thank you for that.
So the Steelers score and make it the Steelers have scored on the Jets to make it a 2-point game. On the ensuing kickoff, return man's bringing it back. Steelers force a fumble. Steelers ball. In the fourth quarter.
So what's the score?
It's 26-24 Jets, but the Jets just did the most Jets thing ever by turning over the football. And so now Rodgers and the Steelers, of course, Darius Slay, there's a good pickup.
Let me ask you another question real quick. Obviously, yesterday we were in Madison, Wisconsin, and the environment there was unbelievable. Loud, fun, exciting. Name me a stadium that you've observed or been to that matches that atmosphere? Well, they college-like atmosphere.
Neyland.
No, pro.
Oh, pro.
Yeah.
Oh, it's different.
It is.
But I would say Baltimore.
Okay.
Or Kansas City. Actually, let me say Kansas City. Kansas City in the AFC Championship game. You were there.
Loud.
That was like, that gave you goosebumps how loud it was. I walked out at one point during the game in the press box because you could hear it in the press box. But like I walked out and my watch gave me the notification of it. It's too loud.
There's a game on behind you that the crowd has always been underrated, and that's
touchdown Steelers.
Is it Aaron Rodgers?
Yep. To Austin, Calvin Austin.
Nice. The Washington Commanders, that home field, when they're good, and I was reading some stuff about them this morning, about the crowd, the environment, that's a college-type atmosphere to get going there. Denver is ranked up there pretty high as well, but it's all come down when you got momentum and winning and everything that goes like that. That's why today the Titans, I asked Teron, what's an ideal first quarter for Cam? He's like, go down and score 8 of 10, 70 yards. Go down and take that crowd out of it. I mean, take the crowd out of the game and realize the silence can do nothing but help you. So did the Dolphins score there, Jake? They got in the end zone finally.
Who scored? A-Chain? Divine A-Chain? Wow, there you go. 30-7 or 30-6. Extra point pending.
Yeah.
But the Steelers, I mean, we're in the witching hour now with these games in the fourth quarter. So things can certainly be different.
Good for Dolphins finally get something on the board.
Something that I wanted to ask earlier. We talked with TD. We talked a little bit about the altitude. 3138 on our text line. Should the Titans have gone to Denver a day early to get used to it?
No.
I don't think that would have mattered.
Not at all.
I understand why you ask it, but I don't know if that really would have made that much of a difference. It's just something you're going to have to battle.
Yeah, just get in and get out, and then maybe get in there. I mean, they've already talked about it before, but no team I remember ever. I traveled with them back in 06 to go out there and play on the team charter, and they just flew out the day before and then played the game and got back out. Look, there's oxygen machines on the sideline to help you.
Yeah.
Denver's got to deal with it too. And I know they're there in Denver, they're used to it and everything, but again, you are superior conditioned athletes. They can do this.
Coming up next here on the pregame, there's a guy that we have talked about going to another level. How can he do that, and how can he start that today? We will discuss that coming up next. Also, just to pass this along, some college opening lines. Vanderbilt has opened as a 6.5-point dog at South Carolina. Tennessee is 7-point dog at home against Georgia next week. So we'll do lines, give you some picks at the end of the show today for the Titans and Broncos. But just wanted to pass that along. This is the pregame show. It's presented by Old National Bank, Parma Tractor and Equipment, Circus Sportsbook Kentucky, Jimmy Kelly Steakhouse, and Tennessee Brew Works, live from Twin Peaks in Madison here on 102.5 The Game. Back here on the pregame, 102.5 The Game, here at Twin Peaks in Madison. 29-degree draft beer, which is very, very cold. I know a few people that have come in and say hi have had that. Locations here in Madison or Rivergate and Cool Springs. You can join the Friends of the Peak Club to get exclusive freebies. And if you're a bourbon connoisseur, Twin Peaks has an extensive collection of rare bourbons, whiskeys, and your favorite, Joe, tequila as well. So definitely want to check that out again. Next week we'll be at JBJ's. It'll be Big Joe, Chris Sanders, and Derek Mason. You get to deal with a couple of wide receivers, so that should be a lot of fun.
But 2 very good wide receivers.
Yes.
So I don't mind that at all.
Yes. Couple of scores as things are winding down in the noon window to give you. Yes, the Dolphins are on the board, and they went for 2 and got it, so they now trail the Colts 30-8 with 6:20 to go in the ballgame.
I'm just watching.
Don't call it a comeback.
No, I'm watching Daniel Jones. I mean,
He looks like Peyton Manning.
He really does. I mean, these passes are on the money today. And, you talk to Giants fans like, yeah, that's great. Wait till next week. He's 21 of 28, 260, 3 touchdowns. He threw for 2 and ran 1 in. Remember, Daniel Jones, his only claim to fame was they beat the Vikings in the playoffs. He got that massive contract back in 21 or 22. What year was it they came? 22.
Yeah.
They came here and beat the Titans opening game.
And they shouldn't have. The
Should not
Titans
have.
should have won that game. The funny thing about that is all the Giants fans were like, please don't pay him, even though they know they had to.
Right. Who did they open? So, all right. 21, they lost to the Cardinals. 22, they lost to the opening game to the Giants. 23 was the Saints, which they should have won.
Yep.
24 was the Bears last year.
Should have won.
Should have won. They've lost 4. I don't remember who they opened well in the COVID year in 20. 19 was the Broncos out there. They beat the Broncos.
20 was the Broncos, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right. You're right.
Because there were no fans. It was on a Monday night.
Monday night. That's right. Yep.
19 was Cleveland, I think.
Yes.
That was just that beat down in Cleveland they had.
Yep. Logan Ryan intercepted a pass, ran back for a touchdown, and all that. So they've lost 4 straight, 21, 22, 23, and 24. So maybe they can stem the tide today, Chaser.
Here's how they win today. Obviously, the Cam Ward stuff speaks for itself. We've talked about the offense and what has to happen there. To me, it's time to meet Jeffrey Simmons 2.0. That's not to say Jeffrey Simmons 1.0 is a bad player. He's not. He got paid a lot of money. He's one of the best defensive linemen in the National Football League.
Right.
But with the deficiencies that they have on this defense, they need him to go to another level and become Jeffrey Simmons 2.0.
Well,
and he needs to put the noise out. His sisters need to quit telling him what's on Twitter. He needs to quit worrying about things and just go out there and play ball.
That poor guy. Yeah, no, you were correct on that. But he needs help.
He does.
He needs help.
100%.
But he's got to be the alpha today.
Yes.
He's got to dominate that interior. If he can occupy 2 of those 5 linemen and just create havoc inside where Denver's not even going to think about running an RPO inside, Titans have a chance. Then a Sweat can help him out. Those 2 guys can come together. There's a lot of tentacles off of Jeffrey Simmons, how good he could play today. If he can occupy the middle of that, Sweat occupy the middle as well, let some guys free up, make plays, it's good. There's a lot with Jeffrey Simmons. I 100% believe what you're saying. He's got to do it today and prove to everybody, look, you want to prove that you're elite? Go do it.
Yep. And look, it's that again, it kind of goes back to what I was saying about Cam Ward. It's simple, but to your point, he needs help in the middle. He needs help on the back end with the DBs. Like if L'Jarius Sneed, just give me a couple of pass breakups today. You don't even have to intercept the ball, but just show that you're still a really good corner in this league. And that's going to take some pressure off of Simmons. And then, the guy next to him and Devondre Sweat and get some sort of semblance of a pass rush.
That's it.
Which Simmons is going to have to create that semblance of a pass rush because he's going to have to draw the double team in order to open up lanes for those guys.
So let's stop talking about sacks. I hate the sacks thing.
I know.
With Simmons,
and I
right? You don't do it. Others do it.
I'm not dogging on him for the charity thing that he did with the sacks, but like he's not supposed to be that big of a sack getter. He's supposed to set it up for other guys.
Yep.
To get to the quarterback.
Just create chaos. That's what Jeffrey Simmons can do. If he does that, if he has 2 sacks, but Arden Key's got 11 and the other guy, somebody else, got 9, and all because off of Jeffrey Simmons, heck yeah, man. We talk about Aaron Donald. Aaron Donald did get sacked. Understand that. But Aaron Donald got double team, triple team, and freed up a lot of people around him to go make plays. So that's what Jeffrey Simmons can do. And he can do it. That's the problem. He can do it.
He just has to do it. And like you said, he's got to have some help while doing it. I'm curious of what kind of defensive game plan they're going to draw up against Bo Nix because they've studied film on him till they can't anymore. They probably watched every tape he's ever done. Because we go back to Auburn, I think he wasn't used correctly, but obviously he grew up a lot going from Auburn to Oregon.
Yeah,
and then I think he was one of the bigger surprises last year of Denver gets him, and I know I kind of looked at it going he's not very good. Sean Payton's made him into a pretty good NFL quarterback.
The first 2 or 3 games he was pretty bad.
Yeah, but he grew into it.
But the last 14 games I read, I think he had 29 touchdown passes and 8 interceptions. Yeah, Sean Payton. I mean, Sean Payton knows what he's doing. We talked earlier about let Joe Lombardi, the offensive coordinator of the Broncos, call plays, who's been fired every place else. But you got Sean Payton, who's going to run that offense with Bo Nix. We're on the same page. And Sean Payton's seen through it all. With Drew Brees, they confused Drew Brees a lot. And he talked about this. He's like, when they would just run all these crazy zones, and I didn't know where to get the ball, that was the toughest thing he said he had being a quarterback was zones. Like, oh, okay, you're supposed to be there, but there's a guy there. I got to go over here. There's a guy there. What's the zone going on? It's easy man-to-man. You beat your guy man-to-man. You throw it. We saw that yesterday at Middle Tennessee game. 101 balls all day long. So if I am Titans, I make sure Bo Nix doesn't get out of the pocket.
You got to keep, I agree.
In the pocket.
Keep him in the pocket. Make him have to get rid of the ball quick, too. Don't give him a lot of time.
Not at all. And that, to me, is play some zone, get guys in areas where he's going to make easy throws and have a little help over the top. Look, Amani Hooker is a damn good safety. I know he got the extension yesterday.
Yeah, he got paid, and he deserves it.
He knows what he's doing. He's not the flashiest or the hardest hitter. He's just a good player. So that's it. You want to make Bo Nix uncomfortable, take away his passing lanes, and then he's like, oh, my God, what am I going to do now? Make him question himself.
I got to say, Paul Kuharski posted the video about 20 minutes ago of Cam Ward walking out. And he's walking out with Ridley, Pollard, Helm, a few others. But you know how a lot of times you'll see guys and they're jumping and they're listening to either listening to the stadium music or something like that. He walked out so very stoically. He's got like that just blank look on his face of just like focus. I don't know. You can look in a person's eyes and know when they're locked in, and he definitely looks like he's locked in. That none of that's going to matter until once you snap the ball. But I don't know. I'm watching him going like, okay, all right, young man, what you got? Show me what you got.
What's funny is that I am so claustrophobic that Cam Ward's wearing the mask.
Yeah.
He's got the shield up. And I always look at him like, God, I could never.
I would. I'd love the shield. I just think it looks cool.
Man, I know why you're wearing it. I'm like poking. I get all that, but I'm so claustrophobic that it's like a windshield wiper, man. I mean, your windshield, I got to have it clean and everything.
Well, how about I think Derrick Henry started doing this too, but like Ezekiel Elliott wore the one that was like you couldn't see. Like you could not see his eyes.
No, that's fine.
Like the tinted ones. Like they're, but yeah, I probably would have worn it. But it definitely looks cool. But we'll see how locked in he's going to be. Again, we are getting very, very close to kickoff of the Titans and the Broncos. Let's look at a couple of other quick scores as the Colts add a field goal. So it's now 33-8, 2:23 to go in that ball game. The Raiders have just added a field goal. So they're up 20-10 over Mike Vrabel and the Patriots in his Patriots debut. The Jets have it 4th and goal, trailing the Steelers 31-26. The Bucs are up on the Falcons 17-13, 9:28 to go in the 4th. The Bengals barely holding on to a lead 17-16, and the Browns are driving in Cincinnati territory as there's 6:56 to go in that ball game. The Cardinals are beating the Saints 20-10. The Commanders up on the Giants 14-6, and as the first half is winding down, I doubt they're going to take a halftime break in Jacksonville because of the delay, but they're up 17-3 on the Panthers. So Trevor Lawrence, 14 of 19, 128 yards and a touchdown so far in that game. Etienne Jr., 7 carries, 99 yards for Jacksonville. And I know what you're all asking, so let me pull it up real quick. Doesn't look like Hunter has 4 receptions, 22 yards on offense.
Is he playing? Does he have tackles? I think he's playing a little defense too. They're going to put him in situations to take advantage of him.
Defensively, he has 1 tackle.
Love it
on defense.
Love it.
So he has played both sides of the ball today. Again, they're only at halftime, so there's still a ways to go there. So we'll see. But Travis Etienne has been the workhorse so far. 7 carries, 99 yards, including a 71-yard run for Jacksonville. So we'll keep you updated as those games wind down. Coming up next, we'll put a bow on this show, give you some picks, look at the Vegas odds as a touchdown Jets as they regain the lead. We'll do that coming up here on the pregame 102.5 The Game. Welcome back into the pregame 102.5 The Game. Chase McKay, Big Joe Dubin with you here at Twin Peaks in Madison. It's flown by today. They're home of the 29-degree beer and the lunch lineup with the quickie combo of a half sandwich and super salad, hand smashed burgers, chef-inspired flatbreads, wings, tacos, and hot dishes. All right, what games are kind of standing out to you? Let's do a little week 1 overreaction right now.
Well, we got a lot of Raiders fans here. Raiders just had a turnover, I think, or almost had one with the Patriots, and they're up. Raiders up 20-10 right now. They're looking good. Raiders are looking really good. Bengals are now up on the Browns 17-16. And like those games, division games, opening week are always tough. And the Browns just missed an easy field goal.
Can we talk about this though? Like this feud that has developed between Mike Vrabel and then Kraft and the Patriots and Bill Belichick,
great,
and how petty it is. And look, I love a little pettiness. Don't get me wrong, but Belichick has banned the Patriot scouts from the facility, and he was asked about it yesterday after they won. And he said, look, it's simple. They don't want me at their facility, so I don't want them at ours.
Yeah, and Kraft has already said, when you're done, I'm going to build you a statue.
You're right.
So it's just petty between both of those right now.
He's pissed at Vrabel because Vrabel out Belichicked him and ended the dynasty.
Yeah, That's fine.
Like that's what
But
it is.
you created Vrabel.
And Vrabel has always been pissed that Belichick traded it.
You created Vrabel. I mean, the guy that watched you for 8 years up in New England, who emulates your coaching style, which is fine, and all that is just pettiness right there. Let's see here. The Saints have just kicked the field goal. They're down by 7, 2.5 to go. But the Jets-Steelers game is a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah, it's back and forth. So
you know what? I'm rooting for Justin Fields.
I think a lot of people are.
Dumped on in Chicago, dumped on in Pittsburgh. Evidently, he's a good dude off the field. I know you got to make it happen on the field, but he was great at Ohio State. And if he can get things done in New York, fantastic. It's not bad.
If he's such a good dude off the field, to leave him off the field.
He's a locker room guy, really? Then keep him in the locker room.
I love that.
Keep it going. You talked about Tua being out of the game now. They brought in Zach Wilson. I mean, this is about as bad a week one for the Miami Dolphins as you can get. And they're down 33-8. They've had no traction day. There's been no momentum, no passion on the field. Colts have dominated from the stretch.
So the Bengals hold on to a 17-16 lead. You just mentioned the Browns missed a field goal. So 2:22 to go in the fourth. Cincinnati going to try and just run this one out best they can, but I don't know what the timeout situation is there. The Titans, according to the Circus Sportsbook in Kentucky, are an 8.5-point dog in Denver. And I feel like that's about right. I think the Titans are going to lose this game today. I hope that Cam Ward plays well and shows, that the coaching has worked and all of those things and that they play the best they can. I just think Denver's the better team. Yeah. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. But I think Denver's going to win by 2 touchdowns.
It's just very hard for a rookie quarterback to come in and be successful immediately.
Yeah.
We got spoiled with C.J. Stroud 2 years ago, last year with Jaden Daniels. I get all that. But look, it's still not a good football team. There's a lot of holes on this football team. Now, there's a lot of hope. There's a lot of potential on this football team, but until you see it in action, it's just tough. Denver's got a really good defense. It's a really tough place to play, and they're feeling good like they got some kind of team this year because of what Bo Nix did last year. There's just a lot going against the Titans today, but look, going to win the game.
So all that said, Cam Ward throws for 333 yards, 3 touchdowns, and the Titans win 28-7. I'm kidding.
Just don't let him. If it's me, man, just don't try to get it all in the first quarter.
Right.
Don't do that.
You can't win it in the first quarter, but you can lose it.
You can. Exactly.
All right. This is what we're going to do. We're having a little fun here. Give me what?
Aaron Rodgers he's so slow. He was getting sacked. By the time the guys got on him, he just threw the ball to a Jet guy, and the Jet guy just dropped it. Right.
That was like Will Levis last year. Give me a Titan that you think will score today. I'll let you go first.
Tony Pollard. I think that offensive line, run-wise, is pretty good. They'll weigh down. They'll kind of weigh the Broncos' defensive line down a little bit, push him around. He'll get in the end zone.
Connor, what about you? I'm putting you on the spot. Give me an anytime touchdown scorer.
I'll go Gunnar Helm today.
Gunnar Helm. All right. I'm going to say a rookie as well, Alec Iomanner. I think Alec Iomanner scores today for the Titans.
That's the left. You both got Ricky Love. It's just really tough. It's easier to run the ball in. But who knows? I hope Gunnar Helm has 3 touchdowns today. Or Iomanner has 3 touchdowns himself or whomever. Who's returning kicks? DK?
DK.
Both.
Yes.
Okay. I like that. I like the one guy to handle both.
Yep.
I think that's really good.
And I'm interested to see how that works out.
Aaron Rodgers got sacked, and if he gets up, it'll be a miracle. Boy, he got crunched. He got sandwiched by the Jets. They're coming at him.
He's probably laying it. Well, it's Jets ball, isn't it?
Yeah, I think they punted it away, right?
He's probably laying there going, maybe I should just retire.
The Jets might.
Maybe I should call.
The Jets might put him in that dark place because they're coming at him. And
usually he puts himself there, but
that's right.
2-minute warning in Cleveland. Bengals ball. They have 4th and 1 on their own 35. So what do you do here? You probably need to kick.
Yeah. With the defense.
17-16. They hold on to the lead in Cleveland with the Browns. 4:02 to go in the fourth. between the Bucks and the Falcons. Bucks lead 17-13. Falcons have the ball 3rd and 1 at the Tampa Bay 2. So third and goal then. Raiders have the ball up 20-10, 3:23 to go in the fourth on the Patriots. Saints added a field goal. It's 20-13 Cardinals, 2:23 to go in the fourth. Cardinals have the ball. We mentioned Steelers trail the Jets 32-31, 5:21 to go in that ball game. Commanders up on the Giants 14-6.
Scored. Debo Samuel just took end around and they scored up 21-6.
All right, 21-6. Thank you for that. It is halftime in Jacksonville. As they had a weather delay earlier. Jags lead 20-3 against the Carolina Panthers.
Michael Penix just tried to run in on a bootleg, and instead of running out of bounds, he reached out and the ball came out, and they're on the 1 yard line, and that's a fumble. Oh, okay. He hit the pylon, ball fumbled. A lot of chaos going on right now. Trying to make things – look, he's doing a Will Levis, trying to make things happen. They need to talk to these quarterbacks don't try to be a Superman. Just get out of bounds and don't live for another play. And he almost screwed up with him right there.
All right, if you're the Titans and you win the toss, you want it or you want it the second half?
Second half.
I think I do that too.
I want my defense on the field first. Defense sets the tone.
Yep. Put the defense out first. You ask the question to Teron. I'll ask it to you. First quarter from Cam Ward.
I think it's 2 successful drives. I want a field goal, no turnovers, maybe 6 of 8, 45 yards, but I need to see him move the ball. Move the ball down the field. Give me a field goal, have at least 3 points on the board in the first quarter.
What level of concern do you have with Cushenberry having not played in the preseason, really didn't practice a whole lot in the preseason until he was activated? He's coming off a pretty significant injury.
Yeah.
And, he's playing against his old team that obviously is going to fire him up a little bit. But I'd have a little bit of concern there because he hasn't had a lot of time with Cam Ward, and we know how important that center-quarterback relationship is.
Well, he's been now, almost 4 weeks off the injured reserve back.
Yep.
A lot of time they could spend on the practice field together, snapping, talking, communicating. The team is going to have to put it together today on the field. But I'm not concerned about Cushenberry at all. If they did not think he was ready to go, they would not put him out there at all. So I think Cushenberry will be fine.
Or cut the backup center.
Exactly. With that. The Browns were going to drive with the Bengals, and Flacco had a nice pass with the receiver, hit him in the chest, and he bounced up, and the Bengals intercepted.
So Bengals ball.
Yep, Bengals ball. These receivers, look, this drives me crazy. They love now all the flash and, and being cool and getting up and pointing to the first down marker. A lot of these guys can't catch. Ball hits them in the hand, and they can't do it. If a ball hits you in the hand from the quarterback, you should catch it.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's your shoelaces or on top of your head. Catch the ball. We see a lot of drop passes in football now.
Jets are punting it back to Pittsburgh. Will be about 3 minutes left. They came after that one too, didn't they?
Oh, the Raiders. Geno Smith has threw the ball deep down the field and converted. It's like there's 19 things going on right now.
You're in your element right now.
Trying to watch everything that's happening to see what's who's got the momentum, who's doing things. And
well, my question now is Aaron Rodgers is going to have about 3 minutes to work with, including the 2-minute warning. I didn't see what they had timeout-wise. I think he's got all 3. Are we going to see the old Aaron Rodgers just methodically lead a team downfield, or are we going to see, you in the pocket that can't move? And
well, we came here last year in the game 2 versus the Titans. He was done in the first half. He was done. And the Titans gave him life. So in the second half, we saw that flash of Aaron Rodgers, hurry up offense, hitting the receivers in stride. He was really, really good. I put nothing past Aaron Rodgers.
He's thrown for 4 touchdowns today. So, I mean,
no interceptions.
That's pretty impressive.
Yep. They got 79 yards. Well, they can just get a field goal. They're only down 1.
Yeah. But, I mean, if you're him and you're playing against the Jets that it didn't work out, I mean, you want to go score a touchdown.
You do. But I really think a lot of that, because he was there for he had a decent year last year.
Yeah, he did.
I just think it's look, I'm in Pittsburgh now. It's about winning a game. And I think a lot of this redemption talk is silly, especially for him.
All right. We got 2 minutes. Give me your final prediction for the Titans.
I think it's 27-13. I think you got to go back, still think that Cam is a rookie quarterback. He'll learn, And the history has shown throughout the National Football League's history, rookie quarterbacks in their start just don't get it done. Just don't get it done. And that's no indictment on Cam or Brian Callahan. It's just they don't get it done in that first game. Shocked me today. Made me eat my words at 6 o'clock. They're like, I was wrong about that. It's just really tough, man.
I think Denver wins 28-14. I think Cam has a decent day. I do think he turns the ball over once, but I think that comes early in the game. I think that Nix takes care of the football, and I think that Denver's defense is a little too much for the Titans, and the Titans' defense can't slow down Denver's offense enough. So I think that that's where that would go. Now, what's interesting is 28-14 would give you the over in that game. The total is only 42.5 in Denver, which I think is kind of low, but that makes sense. And Denver, an 8.5-point favorite at home.
All right, let me ask you this real quick. First play of the game for the Titans is?
Handoff to Pollard.
Okay.
I'd throw it, but I think they hand it off.
I think it's a little fake to Pollard, dump off to the tight end, 3 or 4 yard gain.
Play action.
Really quick, really small, really simple. Going to get him feeling good, confident, and go from there.
Okay. Well, we will see how it all shakes out. We will have full reaction starting at 6 o'clock tomorrow with Robbie and Rex Road, followed by Next Man Up with Jake Lyman, Chasing Big Joe from noon to 3, and DVD on your ride home. Our thanks to everybody here at Twin Peaks in Madison for having us today, and all of our sponsors, Old National Bank, Parman Tractor and Equipment, Circus Sportsbook Kentucky, Jimmy Kelly Steakhouse, and Tennessee Brew Works. For Connor Newt, Big Joe Dubin, I'm Chase McCabe. Enjoy the game today.